What is up, weather enthusiasts? I'm your host, Pat's Path Predictor. Let's get right into the weather. Alright, so this is Invest 92E. It is currently developing off the coast of Mexico. Not too much has happened, although there has been an increase of storm activity going on. There's also a new area of interest the NHC has put out, so we're going to check that out as well. So let's go ahead and take a look into it, but before we do, we need to talk about 92E for a brief moment. It's currently off the coast of Mexico. Here's the current storm information as of right now. It's in around the same area, 13.8 degrees north, 96.7 west, 20 knots is the max speed. The pressure is still 1008, so not much of a change there. There has been a bit of a change in the intensity and the track models. The intensity models. Well, more models now have this going up to a hurricane. The HWRF has this just rapidly exploding like a rock, like going up like a rocket up to Category 4 strength, which that is outlandish right there. And I'm usually quite reserved when I see models like this, but that is outlandish. Although it's not impossible. It is a very outlandish scenario. So, like, if you're seeing something like that, I mean, it's possible, yes, but even high-end Cat 4 is outlandish. So, with that being said, we're going to go ahead and continue. We're going to go to the track intensity. The HWFI, it also has this moving at a slower pace, which is understandable, because as time goes on, this thing's going to move over cooler water and it's going to stay off the coast of Mexico. It's going to move over cooler water eventually. We can take a look at the sea temperatures just to show you what's going on. Like, after it hits here, it's going to start weakening because it's going to move through a lot cooler temperatures of the ocean. So, yeah, that's the situation we have. So, that's the tracks right here. We're going to go ahead and take a look at the Eastern Pacific right here. So, yeah, we have disturbance 1, 30% chance, 80%. Is basically the same situation as before, little organization. But this is the new area of interest we're looking at right here. So, there's a 20% chance of formation in the next 5 days. This is where it is. They just issued this. And someone in my last video asked me to check this out in the comments. I was going to anyway. So, this is out for you. So, this is right here. Off the coast of Central America, an area of low pressure is expected to form during the next few days, and south or southwest off the coast of Central America. Subsequently, gradual development of the system is possible as it moves slowly northwestward. It's a 20% chance in the next 5 days. It's also going to kind of like meander off the coast for a little bit, so we're actually going to go ahead and take a look at that first. So we're on the GFS model, so we're going to be using several models. We're going to use the GFS, the European, a couple others. So, yeah, this is the GFS, and this is this tropical system right here. We'll go more in depth because the HWRF, the HMON, several other hurricane models I have tabs on this, so we're going to take a look at it. This is it right here. The GFS doesn't really do that good of a job when it comes to it. It does having it make landfall in Guatemala, but actually no, El Salvador. El Salvador's to the south, I'm sorry, Guatemala. So that's basically, it just doesn't show a pressure with it, and that's the same scenario as this Belize hurricane, which as impressive as that looks, is unlikely to get to that strength. So let's go ahead and check the European model. The European model has this still happening. It just has it meandering off the coast and has it as a tropical depression, essentially, or weak tropical storm. The NavGem right here, we have something from the 18Z, but we don't have anything from this. Is the 12Z right here. So this is basically what we have. It's about 1,003 potential high-end tropical storm, potential hurricane as well. So, yeah, it's not out of the question that this thing ends up becoming a strong tropical storm for sure. It just the graphs and where it's going is all over the place right now. So that's what's going on with this, and that's the extent we'll talk about for now. We need to talk about this because we have this model. We're having the latest runs with this. So this is the GFS of Invest 92E. It's expected to develop, continue into a tropical storm, and then to a hurricane. You can see those. You can see those isobars get more tight and concentrated. You can see a bit of organization right there. It ultimately gets down to 982 millibars, but then as it moves through the colder waters, it starts weakening at a very considerable pace, and the shear will tear it apart. So that's what we have right here for the GFS. We're gonna actually, we're actually gonna use the HMONS model right here, because this is also showing a more moderate model, as I like to put it. Basically, it develops, it's developing, it forms, becomes a tropical storm, and then it starts to become a hurricane. Then it starts to intensify at this point, and then it shows a rather impressive structure by the time it gets to its final, basically its max strength right here. It's somewhat impressive right here, but then it stops at 985, then it moves to the colder waters, and then it just weakens from there. Now the HWRF is where things really go off. The CMC just has as a tropical depression weakens. Let's check the HWRF-P. Yeah, the HWRF-P. Let's put this. Actually, yeah, there we go. Okay, that's not gonna work. Okay, yeah, we're gonna go back to the. Okay, never mind. We're just gonna go to this right here. Yeah, I'm sorry. Okay, this is better. So this is what we have right here. We're gonna have to backtrack this a bit. The HWRF-P is quite aggressive as well. And the HWRF-P has this thing developing into a hurricane, rapidly intensifying, dropping down to 960, it's at its lowest, it's down to 964. So that's a high-end Cat 2, or low-end Cat 3 hurricane right there. The HWRF-P has this down to 962. So that's basically what we have. That's the HWRF-P. The HWRF really is really aggressive as well. And we'll actually put in the radar. We'll actually keep this right here. We'll keep this. So we'll have to backtrack this real quickly. Backtrack this. This develops as a tropical storm, starts to intensify as a hurricane, and then just look at the organization. The eye wall really develops. It really gets out there, and then it kind of it looks like it undergoes an eye wall replacement cycle, and then it just continues to intensify. It ends up bottoming out. The pressure ends up bottoming out around 961 millibars. And what's the winds with this? What's the winds at 850? We're looking at 130 knot winds at 850. This thing could potentially be a Cat 3 hurricane at this point. Either a high-end Cat 2 up to a medium-range Cat 3 if the HWRF is correct. But with a word of caution, the HWRF is known for being very aggressive with these kinds of models. So it's not always accurate. So with that disclaimer in mind, that's basically the extent we're going to talk about this. But with that being said, that's going to wrap up this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you are new. It helps me out and helps me make more videos like these. The goal of this channel is to get more people engaged with weather and warn them of potential hazards like this. If this potentially has an impact or even attempts to make landfall, I will still cover this thing as it develops. So yeah, with that being said, guys, have a wonderful day. Stay safe.